So, the Prince of Persia series has certainly gone through some ups and downs in its long history, from generation-defining classics that are currently maybe being remade to live-action movies starring Jake Gyllenhaal. The Prince of Persia franchise has come a long way since its gorgeous 1989 2D action platforming roots, but in a surprise turn of events, the series is returning to those 2D action platforming roots with Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. And you know what? Here are 7 things that we think that you need to know about it. Number 7. You play as a brand new protagonist. That's right, this new entry in the series ditches the titular prince in favour of a new protagonist, Sargon. Now, Sargon is part of the Immortals, a team of young and reckless heroes who are on a mission to rescue the new titular prince, Prince Hassan, who has gone missing in a mysterious new area. Now, this area is cursed, and time works differently around these parts, leading to some challenging encounters and some rather tricky platforming. You'll meet various NPCs and interesting enemies along the way, all of which are inspired by authentic Persian folklore, myths, and legends. So, as you're parkouring your way around slicing up the undead, you might even learn a thing or two about Persian history, if you're not too busy falling into that spike trap for the 10,000th bloody time. Number 6. Classic 2D gameplay with a modern twist. Now, this game is returning to the real roots of Prince of Persia, cementing its core gameplay loop in 2D action platforming. But 2D platformers have come a hell of a long way since 1989, and thankfully this latest entry into the franchise looks to be taking a lot of inspiration from games that have modernised that genre. From air dashing to wall jumping, the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown looks to be a satisfyingly fluid platformer with a time-bending twist. And all of that wall bouncing and precision dashing is going to remind you of Celeste and Super Meat Boy, so expect to be falling to your death a fair amount. But when you make mistakes in a Prince of Persia game, that doesn't mean game over. Now, it wouldn't be a Prince of Persia game without some wibbly-wobbly time-bending shenanigans, and in the early gameplay that we have seen, there is plenty. The most interesting ability shown so far is one that allows you to drop a shadow of yourself in one location and then rewind yourself back to that location at a later point, kind of like Tracer from Overwatch. Not only is this necessary for solving some tricky puzzle platforming sections, but also proves to be a key aspect of the combat. Using this rewind mechanic to elongate combos or evade attacks is going to be a unique experience indeed. I'm actually just kind of worried I don't have the reaction time or brain power to master it in the heat of combat. And speaking of reaction time, parrying is also going to be key to the combat. Nailing the timing of a perfect deflection will activate a stylish anime-style finisher, one of which is ripped straight out of the classic PS2 game, The Sands of Time. You'll also unlock special moves and ultimates that you can swap out at bonfires, I mean glowing tree save point thingies, which allow for some customization in combat as well. And to add even more customization and complexity into the mix, you'll also be finding amulets as you explore that bestow you with unique powers, like the Prosperity Bird amulet that summons a spectral bird that reveals hidden treasures for you. I mean, that sounds amazing, and also, ooh, shiny. Number 5, it's a true Metroidvania. As you explore the dilapidated ruins in this game, you'll find plenty of secrets, shortcuts, and treasures, but you won't be able to find all of them from the very start. In classic Metroidvania fashion, as you gain new abilities, new areas will become available to explore in a delicious Moorish cycle of discovery and banging your head against a brick wall or trying to jump a gap for the 900th time because you didn't know you needed to unlock the quadruple jump grappling hook before heading in this direction. Cheers! Love them or hate them, when done right, Metroidvanias can make for some of the most satisfying and exciting games to explore. And as I hinted to earlier, as you'll explore, you'll be unlocking shortcuts that loop you back to previously discovered safe areas, meaning that hopefully you only need to spend hours trying to nail that tricky bit of parkour once instead of having to do it over and over and over again like you're in some sort of time loop. Oh god, they probably will do that. Number 4, early impressions are impressive. Plenty of game journalists, influencers, and ordinary gamers have already had hands-on time with the game, whether at private press events or at public shows like Gamescom and EGX. And you know what? Initial reports are very positive. IGN's Matt Purslow said a 2D Metroidvania was not what I expected of a new Prince of Persia game, but The Lost Crown is already proving itself a worthwhile pivot for the series. Tech Radar Gaming's Jake Tucker claimed the game is brilliant and dripping in style. And that style and look is quite a departure for the series, and fans were initially divided when the game was first shown off at the 2023 opening night live Summer Games Fest event. And Games Radar's Roland Bishop was surprised himself, saying that the game made a shockingly pleasant first impression. Finally, Catherine Castle, in her preview for Rock Paper Shotgun, described combat that made her lean forward, wince, gasp, and brace herself against the sheer speed of it all. And when it was over, I had to put the controller down and just breathe for a minute until my heart rate came back down to normal. title. All of these glowing early previews came from either June or July 2023, and that already sounded like it was in great shape for a game that wasn't due to release for another 6 months. So here's hoping that the team have been polishing and expanding upon the already stellar foundation that many gaming journos are already praising. Number 3, timey-wimey shenanigans. Now, time manipulation has been a unique selling point of the Prince of Persia series since the Sands of Time launched in 2003. It acted as an interesting plot point, forgiving rewind function for the not always stellar platforming and unique combat mechanic, and was used in a lot of puzzles. So you'll be glad to hear that it's back here once again, although in the trailer that Ubisoft has dropped, it's hinted that Sargon is not the only one who will be wielding the power of time travel. The mind boggles at the possibility of epic time-bending boss battles as both you and your adversary turn back time, possibly to try and be the first to undo that time you called your teacher mum in class and everyone laughed. No? Just me? Yeah. Number 2, The Lost Crown is being developed by the team behind Rayman Legends, and that is very exciting. Now, Rayman Legends released in 2013 and was met with huge critical acclaim and love from the fans that played it, and a Guinness World Record as well. It's currently sat at a whopping 92 on Metacritic, and believe it or not, holds the Guinness World Record for the best-selling Rayman game. Boo. I know, not the most impressive Guinness World Record to hold, but still, it did sell over 4.48 million copies, overtaking the previously best-selling game in the franchise, which was the original Rayman itself that released on PS1 in 1995. But you know what? The truth is, that still ain't enough, because it's a great game. Play it. Do it now. Rayman should be as recognizable as Crash or Spyro or maybe even Mario, but he isn't because his hands aren't attached to his body, and that is apparently scary. Also, the rabbits took over his spot, and I will never ever forgive them for that. In all seriousness though, Ubisoft Montpellier are top-tier devs and experts at creating heartfelt stories and tight-as-hell platforming, so it's nice to know that this new iteration of Prince of Persia is in their safe hands. And number 1, the release date and special edition prices. Now, the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is due for release on all current and last-gen platforms, as well as Switch and PC on January the 15th, 2024. And in a nice surprise, the game will release at a very palatable price point of $50. Now, of course, this is Ubisoft, so here comes the collector's edition with the 20-foot-tall statue of a character that we've not even seen in the trailers yet. What's this? There's no physical release for this game, so the only options to spend more money is a $60 digital deluxe edition that comes with a skin for Sargon that harkens back to the Prince of Persia Warrior Within days, and also 3 days early access to the game. Well, that's actually fairly reasonable, isn't it? I'm actually stunned. And there we go, my friends. That was Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, 7 things you need to know. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on the social medias, X and Instagram, where it's @RetroJ, but the O is a 0. Hope to see you over there. And I also hope that you're treating yourself well with love and respect, my friend, because you deserve all the bloody best, and do not let anything or anyone else tell you otherwise, all right? You are a massive ledge. Now go out there and smash it today. And if you don't do it right the first time, rewind and do it again. That's what Prince of Persia teaches us. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.